Okay, so here is the Bible contradiction. Can anyone see God? Yes or no? Well, according to 1 John 4:12, it says, "No man have seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us, and his love is perfect in us." John 1:18, "No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him." So you notice, two verses in the Bible clearly say no one has ever seen God at any time. Where is the contradiction? Read Genesis 32 verse 30. It says, "And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is spared." So Jacob did see God face to face, yet his life was spared. That's a contradiction, a clear contradiction. Why? Because Exodus 32 verse 20 says, "No one can see me and stay alive." So Jacob clearly contradicted God's statement that supposedly when you see God, you are meant to die. Yet Jacob actually proves that the Bible is not the Word of God, since he claimed he saw God face to face and his life was spared. Christians, on the contrary, will say, God is a spirit, therefore he cannot be seen. Really? But Jacob saw God face to face, which means God is not just a spirit because he has a physical face. Remember, as Jesus says in the Bible, a spirit has no flesh and bone. Yet Jacob did indeed see a face of God. Christians will then say, no, God's glory cannot be seen, so it's no contradiction. Well, let's read if people saw God's glory. Open up Exodus verse 16 through to 6 and 7. It says, "So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, in the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt. And in the morning you will see the glory. You will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we that we should grumble against us?" So as you can see, Moses and Aaron saw the glory of the Lord, hence the contradiction stands. The proof of God's glory being seen by men, it follows. Ask a Christian, was Jesus seen by many people? The answer will always be yes. Many disciples saw Jesus, including his enemies, the Jews. Some Gentiles saw him, etc., etc. And was Jesus representing God's glory? Yes or no? And the answer must be yes. Why? Because the verse says in John 1:14, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling amongst us. We have seen his glory." We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. So notice that the Word becomes flesh, and when it becomes flesh, God's glory was seen through Jesus. And the verse in Hebrews 1:3 actually supports this. Let's read also Hebrews 1:3. "The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word. After he had provided purification for his sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty in heaven." So notice what the verse says. That Jesus as the Son is the exact radiance of God's glory. Now, what does radiance mean? Go to any dictionary. It means the quality or state of being radiant. Physics, the radiant energy emitted per unit time in a specific direction by a unit area of an emitting surface. So notice, Jesus is the same physical energy and same glory, since Jesus shares the radiance of God's glory. So the contradiction stands. God cannot be seen, nor his glory. Yet people like Jacob saw God and his glory, as was seen by Moses, Aaron, who both saw the glory of the Lord, and the glory of God has seen by all the disciples of Jesus when they saw the glory of God through Jesus. Which proves Jesus was not God, which is another point, and proves that the Bible has contradictions. Why? Because Exodus 33 verse 20 says, "No one can see me and stay alive." Jacob clearly contradicted this by saying Jacob saw God and lived in Genesis 32 verse 30. Thank you and goodbye. Yes, the Bible is full of contradictions.